Oh, by the way, the Frost stopped by and said that it was the attorney, uh, Mr. Stivers, that said that all the keys were to be yanked, and even to my house, and that the keys to the truck was even to be taken. Were you aware of that, Mr. Stivers? Hmm. I'll be calling your office today to find out. Mr. Stivers. You want to kick me out of my own house? Steal my truck? Because a bunch of fucking criminals say to do so? Really? Oh, that's interesting. I'm not so sure that's legal, Mr. Stivers. Call me crazy, but I'm not so sure that's legal. But we'll find out, won't we? Yes, we will. We'll find out. Yes, we will. We'll find out just how legal that is. Because I'll be goddamned if I'm going to be accused of killing my own fucking mother or have to pay fucking extortion money so that a bunch of women can come in my goddamn house and steal my kids over stupid shit. The government does not have the right to tell you how to clean your house, folks. No, they fucking don't. They do not have the right to tell you how to raise your children. They do not have the right to tell you how to live your life. Every one of those things can be struck down on constitutional ground. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. That's a goddamn fact. Everything that CP has done up to this point is totally and completely illegal. And like I said, every day that double-wide is locked, I am being stolen from. That is grand theft. That's not theft. It's grand theft. It is a felony. And felonies do stack, folks. And I'm sure as hell not going to go to jail for being extorted out of money. Now, understand, this is the first time that they've ever charged me child support in 15 years. First time. Well, where did they get that idea from? They got it from a bunch of terrorists on the goddamn internet. But if on the auspices the police should show up, well, then guess what? That's a false arrest. And I end up winning money anyway. I end up making big money out of that. All that evil that's on the internet has got to go. All the evil that's in these Kentucky computers has got to go. And it will go. It will be gone. It will be gone. If I have to write a goddamn letter to President Biden, this shit is going to be fixed. Oh, on a happier note, I finally got an attorney to return my call. Holy shit. Talk about a milestone. I actually got an attorney to return my call. Isn't that amazing? And I told them about my disability and how the Clay County CPS had called up there to Corbin and got made sure that I never got my disability and NSSI, and they were very fascinated to find that information out. They were very curious to find that information out. And I said, well, every time I go up there, I keep getting denied. And then you got a bunch of fucks on the internet laughing and giggling saying we told CPS years ago under Judge Clark to make sure he never got his disability and SSI. They were very fascinated to find out about that information. Okay. I can't sit here wondering if I'm going to be arrested or wondering if my kids are going to be stolen or wonder if I'm going to have to fucking get extorted out of my fucking money. What little money I got left, which right now is none, I might add, because it was all given to the fucking Frost. I can't have no peace of mind if I'm constantly looking over my shoulder to see if I'm going to be wrongfully arrested or illegal search and seizure or have my kids fucking taken because of something stupid. Right now, there's too much stupid ass bullshit going on here locally. And I'll be so glad when we start throwing people in fucking prison so that I can have a moment's time to my goddamn self. You know, I don't even have a time to myself because of all this shit. You know, this bullshit, and it needs to stop. All right. So if something happens to anybody, I don't want to see a bunch of cruisers in my backyard trying to accuse me of shit I didn't do. Because Von Helton didn't do a damn thing. The gods told me, stay the fuck out. And it is Friday. And obviously, the weekend being what it is, most government institutions are not open on the weekend. Courts, banks is Friday. And if you'll recall, I said that if things were not turned around in my favor, and that if certain things had not been taken care of, that I would at that point intervene. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact Mr. Rampol there that I showed you the other day. He's going to be getting an itemized list of literally everything that has transpired. And I mean all of it. The fucking terrorists on YouTube, the fact that the FBI, the feckless FBI, has done absolutely nothing. The fact that Clay County seems to be colluding with domestic terrorists on the internet to destroy me, my family, my children, and my mom's already dead. They destroyed my wife. My wife has 5 mental conditions, 5 of them. Destroyed my marriage, wiped out every bit of finances I have, and gave it all to the fucking Frosts who do not deserve it, and it doesn't belong to them. Larry Frost, a convicted criminal, I might add, was given every dime of my mother's SSI and stimulus check. A convicted criminal. How in the fuck but when you've got an actual convicted criminal on one hand, and you've got a model citizen on the other, and a court of law, any court of law, picks a convicted criminal over a model citizen, something is bad wrong. Something is very bad wrong. Because Larry Frost should not have been given 1 dime of my mother's money. Not 1 dime of it. He's a convicted criminal. Right? But yet that's exactly what this court, this district court here in Clay County did, didn't it? Yeah. And of course, we now know that the true to its name, did exactly what it was supposed to do. It gave her a brain clot, or a blood clot, excuse me, went to her brain and killed her dead. Now, somehow the Frosts are therefore trying to spin this and say that I killed my mom. No, I did not pump psychotropic drugs into my mother's body. I wasn't the one that ordered depnemantine, that very powerful psychotropic drug. And isn't it interesting that the court ordered me to give these drugs? Isn't that interesting? You know, that's very rare. I was actually looking that up. It's actually quite rare for a court to order a medical power of attorney on what they can and cannot do. In fact, if I read it correctly, the court can't tell me what to do as her medical power of attorney. That's between me, the doctor, and my mother. The court has absolutely no right to tell me what to do. But they did anyway. They made it a court order that I had to give her these powerful psychotropic drugs, which made her almost forget her own name in some cases. And so I asked the gods to intervene, and the gods did. And she was starting to get her memory back in spite of the medication. She was starting to get her memory back. And so I said numerous times, say, Mom, you know, let me go on ahead and schedule a court date in Washington, D.C., federal court, where we can go after the Frosts, recover your money, recover my money, you know, get all this stuff took care of once and for all. And she's like, absolutely, go ahead. All right, so I'm on the verge of doing exactly that. I'm on the verge of setting up a court date in Washington, D.C. for me and my mother. And then, oh, wow, she drops dead from. Now, I'm sure that's a coincidence, right? I'm sure that's a fucking coincidence. Or could it be that Larry Frost heard over them goddamn cameras that were illegally placed in my house or in Mom's house? FBI. A violation of federal wiretapping laws, was it? Yes. And then now we hear that Larry Frost is illegally recording conversations of me and the renters too. That's a second violation of federal wiretapping laws. Where's the FBI at? Oh, they're hiding under their desk. Right, FBI? You're hiding under your desk. 2 violations, 2 federal violations from a convicted criminal, and the FBI is nowhere around. Well, isn't that just ducky? Isn't that amazing? But I digress. The point is is that it's an awfully big coincidence that as I'm on the verge of setting up a court date for us to go to Washington, D.C. to file against Larry Frost and James Arnold Frost, she drops dead. Well, by golly, you sure can't go to court now, can you? Isn't that amazing? What a coincidence that is. What a coincidence that is. And like I said, I'm her medical power of attorney. I never authorized no powerful psychotropic drug for my mother. So who did that? Who come up with all this shit about mom having dementia anyway in the first place? Was that me? No, actually it wasn't. Was it? No. No, that was James Arnold Frost that came up with the dementia shit. I had nothing to do with that. Now, I did tell Dr. Kim in the emergency room that I felt like she was forgetful enough to where she shouldn't be driving. I mean, she was 91 years old, for fuck's sake, and that I felt she shouldn't be driving. But I never said, at no time did I ever say that she was crazy, that she had dementia, that she needed to be put on powerful psychotropic drugs that would warp her brain. I never once made that claim. I never once said that. I never once agreed to that. And so anyone that says I did is a flat out liar. And if there's documents to that effect, then they forged my signature. So are we all clear as mud on that shit? Because I never, ever authorized those powerful drugs to be administered to my mother. Never. I didn't do that. And I'm her medical power of attorney. All right. So who did that? I'll tell you, Mr. Special Prosecutor, when you find out who authorized them powerful psychotropic drugs to be injected into my mother, well, taken orally by my mother, wasn't injected, it wasn't, it was a pill. When you find out who did that, sir, then you have your murderer. Then you have your murderer. Because the 1-2 punch of the psychotropic drugs, which weakened her brain, and then the which allow for the blood clot to travel to the brain and kill her, it's a 1-2 punch. It's a 1-2 punch. All right, so you got James Arnold Frost, who ran around telling everybody she had dementia. And then you had Larry Frost that went behind my back and gave her the... So this shit that I killed my mother is a load of horseshit. Because had she not been put on powerful psychotropic drugs, and had she not been given the... my mother would still be here today. That's a fact. That's not my goddamn opinion. That is a fucking fact. Okay? Now, as far as child support, well, when you steal someone's children over something stupid, like potty training a puppy, and then you try to get child support out of them, we have a term for that. It's called extortion. And it's a felony in the state of Kentucky. And it doesn't matter whether you're a judge or a CPS worker or a lawyer or a police officer, it's still a fucking felony. And you might want to look that up too, Mr. Special Prosecutor, while you're at it. Because it doesn't matter who you are. It's still a felony. Right, Mr. Special Prosecutor? Yeah. Yeah. So, and then of course there's the matter of the $56,888.52 of child support that's owed to me. Maybe we ought to pay the child support you owe to me first, and then I'll give you the paltry few $1,000s back that you claim I owe. How about we do that? How about we just make a money exchange? Because see, I was very generous about this. I was very courteous about this. I said, well, listen, my ex-wife, she's got 5 mental conditions. You know, I don't want to put any more undue stress on her by forcing child support. I'm going to be a nice guy. Well, as the old saying goes, nice guys finish last, because now I'm being charged child support. And who gave CPS and the courts in Clay County the idea to start charging me child support? Something they haven't done in 15 years? Oh, that would be the terrorists on the internet. The same terrorists on the internet that an attorney in family court literally quoted word for word, with Amy sitting right next to him. Coincidence? I think not. I think not. So yes, it is Morning Coffee 100. It is a milestone. And I am contacting Rand Paul's office, and I'm giving them every fucking detail about what has transpired in district court and family court for the last 10 to 15 years. They will know everything. Every fucking thing. All right? Because I'll be goddamned if I'm going to be accused of killing my own fucking mother, or have to pay fucking extortion money so that a bunch of women can come in my goddamn house and steal my kids over stupid shit. The government does not have the right to tell you how to clean your house, folks. No, they fucking don't. They do not have the right to tell you how to raise your children. They do not have the right to tell you how to live your life. Every one of those things can be struck down on constitutional ground. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. That's a goddamn fact. Everything that CPS has done up to this point is totally and completely illegal. They say, well, Bon, how can that be? Because the Kentucky State Constitution is the law of the land, folks. The Kentucky State Constitution is the law. And CPS, whether they like to believe it or not, they must conform to the Kentucky State Constitution. They don't get a choice. So everything that has transpired is unconstitutional on its face, and therefore illegal, because the Kentucky State Constitution is the law of the land. You get it? Wrongful removal of a child. Now, those of you that know how to use Google, you might want to Google that phrase. Wrongful removal of a child. Google it, you dumbass motherfuckers. CPS does not have the right to take my children over dirty dishes, laundry, a dirty house, a spot of mustard on a blouse, potty training a puppy, lice in the hair, and they sure as fuck don't have the right to take the kids because there's Christmas wrapping on the floor on Christmas Day. No, that's not the reason to remove a child. Children are removed from the home if they are in imminent physical danger. That is the only time they're supposed to be removed. Otherwise, it is a wrongful removal. That's a fact. It's not my opinion. Von Helden didn't make that up. That's law. That's established law. Not only in Texas and California and other places, it's established law in all 50 states. Because there's this thing called court precedent. All right. Texas and California established court precedent in regards to the actions of CPS. This is a fact. This is not something I made up. I'm not pulling this shit out of my ass. This is facts. Okay. So every time CPS removed my children, they did so illegally, in violation of the Kentucky State Constitution, which is the supreme law of this land. Period. Period. End of story. Now you say, well, Von, why hasn't somebody been prosecuted? Well, that's a good question. I guess they're waiting on me to do it. Seems like everybody's waiting on me to do the shit. So be it. So be it. But I'm making damn sure that Rand Paul's office gets every bit of this information, every fucking penny of it. And we're gonna, and speaking of pennies, we're gonna make damn sure that I get every penny of my inheritance back. Every penny that was given to that criminal of my mom's SSI and stimulus checks is coming back to me. All of Jerry's money and Jerry's stimulus checks are coming back to me. Every fucking penny of it. Because otherwise, there will be arrests being made, but it won't be me doing it, I assure you. It'll be the U.S. Marshals coming down here to make arrests. And it'll either be on the auspices of Ron Paul or Hal Rogers or Mitch McConnell or the governor. But I assure you, there will be arrests being made. You know, when I say that I have been stolen from, that's exactly what I fucking mean. And like I said, every day that double wide is locked, I am being stolen from. That is grand theft. That's not theft, it's grand theft. It is a felony. And felonies do stack, folks. And that building's been locked how many days now? About 10 days almost? 9, 10 days, 8, 10 days, something like that. Okay, so that's 8 felonies right there. How many felonies does it take to be put in jail for the rest of your life? How many felonies, folks? All right, so you say, oh, Bond, you're making that up. No, I'm not. That's established real estate law. If I can't access that internet in my name in that building, that is theft. Well, can you get Spectrum to move it? That's not my problem. And besides, Spectrum said no, they're not moving it anyway. Spectrum said that belongs in that building. It's a government thing. It was put out by Joe Biden. They have no control over where it goes. It goes in that house. This is from the federal government, which, by the way, is another thing. The federal government is the one that said that free internet goes in that house, and that I am the signee for it, and that I'm supposed to be in there utilizing it. Period. There is no getting around it. There is no gray area. There is no, oh, we'll go to Spectrum and get it put over here. No, sorry. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. This is a federal program from Biden's administration. Spectrum has no option to move it or change it or do any of that. It comes from the federal government. Are we all clear as mud on that shit? Okay, so every day that I'm not in that double wide enjoying my free internet is grand theft, a felony in the state of Kentucky. Every day. And like I said, we're up to what, 8 or 9 days now, 10 days, something like that. And felonies do stack. So that 10 felonies, 8 felonies, whatever. Somewhere around there. So I am forwarding all this information to Rand Paul's office, the governor's office, the attorney general's office. And if that doesn't work, I'm sending it straight to Washington, D.C., to federal judges. Okay? But I'll be goddamned if I'm going to be arrested when I'm not the one that gave her the psychotropic drugs, and I'm not the one that gave her the death jab. Right? What a load of shit. And I'm sure as hell not going to go to jail for being extorted out of money. Now, understand, this is the first time that they've ever charged me child support in 15 years. First time. Well, where did they get that idea from? They got it from a bunch of terrorists on the goddamn internet. Okay, well, colluding with terrorists in the state of Kentucky is 25 to life. I looked it up. So that's a crime too. Right? Right, Mr. Special Prosecutor? Colluding with domestic terrorists is 25 to life. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Feel free to correct me on that if you will. Anybody that has messed with these online terrorists has broken the law. Period. Period. Doesn't matter what your excuse is. Your CPS badge is not going to save you. Sorry. Your CPS badge is not a license to break the law, be it local, county, state, or federal law. You cannot use the law to break the law, right? No, you cannot. No, you cannot do that. Sorry. So I don't give a fuck what some goddamn YouTube troll says. But if on the auspices the police should show up, well, then guess what? That's a false arrest. And I end up winning money anyway. I end up making big money out of that anyway. Because that pays out what? I think a false arrest pays out somewhere between 10 to 15,000 per incident. So I end up making a windfall off that anyway. Right? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, here we are, Morning Coffee 100. a milestone in the fact that all this local bullshit is about to wind up in a big way. Because the U.S. Marshals will be down there. You say, well, the U.S. Marshals don't get involved. The fuck they don't. $7.5 million? Fuck yeah, they get involved. That's what they call a high-profile case. And according to the U.S. Marshals' own website, we handle high-profile cases. Well, holy fuck, if $7.5 million isn't high-profile, I'll kiss your motherfucking ass. So yeah, that is a high-profile case. And besides, I won't have shit to do with it anyway. It'll either be the governor, the attorney general, or Rand Paul, or Hal Rogers, or Mitch McConnell. I won't have a dog in that fight anyway. It's out of my hands now. All I do is I send the information, and then they'll do what they need to do after that. But I'm done. I'm done fucking around with Clay County. My kids have not been returned to me, despite the fact that they testified under oath that they wanted to go home. So their rights were clearly violated. There is no question that my children's rights were violated. No question. And any moron can talk to my kids and see that they are sentient. They know exactly what they want. They know good. They know good from evil. They know right from wrong. They are at the stage where if they say they want to go home, they should be allowed to do so. And they were not. They were clearly denied. And that was last October. So yeah, there's going to be some shit going down. You're right, but it ain't going to be about me. Nope. Sorry. It ain't going to be about me, guys. I know you trolls are so desperate to give me a criminal record, but you're not going to succeed. I am a model citizen. I do not break the law. I have never broken the law, at least not intentionally, nor do I intend to. And what few times I did, there was some controversy. It was expunged when it was found out that I wasn't at fault, right? It's like, for example, in Ohio, years and years ago in Ohio, when I wasn't even an adult yet, I'm in a store somewhere, and they call me to the office in that store. And so I go into the office, and there's the police, and the police and the store manager and store security. They're all huddled around me, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna arrest you." I said, "What? You're gonna arrest me for what?" And apparently, what had happened was I had left my car unlocked in the parking lot, and some vagabond, a drunk, had gotten in there and was spewing out crap out of his mouth like it was his car and it was all, but it was registered to me. And so they're coming in there. They want to arrest me because some fucking drunk had gotten in my vehicle. It was a mess too. Mom had to come and sort it all out because I was a minor at the time. What a mess. But see, stuff like that, I've been accused. There's no doubt I've been accused of all kinds of crazy shit. But it's never come to fruition because, hey, I'm a model citizen. I don't break the law. Period. I don't break the law. I am what you would call back in the Dungeons and Dragons days, back in the 70s, lawful good. I don't break the law. I'm hardwired that way. I don't break the law. I don't even bend it. Now I might have to, if my life is in danger or some shit like that, well, then obviously that's mitigating circumstances. But generally speaking, I am lawful good. I follow the law. I obey the law. I do not have a criminal record. I do not want a criminal record. But see, you've got a bunch of criminals and terrorists that want me to have a criminal record. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. All right. And like I said, I have 3 videos of my mother where she clearly states that the Frosts were to have absolutely nothing to do with her affairs. Nothing. And 2 of the 3 videos was long before all this fucking dementia bullshit got started. Long before. So they can't sit there and claim that she was out of her mind and didn't know what she was saying. She knew exactly what she was saying. I want my son to be in charge of my affairs. I want my son to be given my inheritance. And like I said, I was standing there when she looked Jake in the face and told Jake to tell that judge that she wanted her son to be in charge of her affairs. And Jake stood there on the courtroom floor and did nothing. He just stood there. And I look at Jake as if to say, hey, ain't you got something to say? He never said a word. He just stood there like a bump on a log. After my mom telling him to his face, make sure you tell the judge that I want my son in charge of my affairs. He never said a word. He never opened up his mouth. So now the question, Mr. Special Prosecutor, is why did that attorney not open up his mouth and tell that judge what my mom told him to say? That's a good question, isn't it, Mr. Special Prosecutor? Yes, it is. That's a very good question, right? But yes, Morning Coffee 100. Hopefully, the end of all this local bullshit. And then once all this local bullshit has been dealt with, guess who's next, trolls? That's right. Provided there's any of you left alive, of course, because the gods apparently have been slaughtering you motherfuckers left, right, and center. But you know, as long as there's some of you still left alive that I can sue the fuck out of, I'm happy. Because you are going to get sued. You are going to be thrown in prison. Once all this local shit has been dealt with, I'm coming after you trolls next. And you all will be dealt with once and for all. All that evil that's on the internet has got to go. All the evil that's in these Kentucky computers has got to go. And it will go. It will be gone. It will be gone. If I have to write a goddamn letter to President Biden, this shit is going to be fixed. Period. It's going to be fixed. And that's just the way it is. Just another red man getting fucked by the system. You know, I'm inclined to agree with that, actually. You know, in this whole fracas, my nationality has never really been brought up, has it? No, it hasn't. And that interesting. I wonder why not. Maybe I need to call the ACLU and find out why, huh? You reckon I ought to? I think I will. I think I will call the ACLU. And let them know about my ethnicity and let them know what's been happening here in Clay County and see what the ACLU has to say. You never know. The ACLU might agree with me. Wouldn't that be interesting? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Oh, on a happier note, I finally got an attorney to return my code. Holy shit. Talk about a milestone. I actually got an attorney to return my call. Isn't that amazing? And in fact, I may find out something today, hopefully, about that very situation. We'll see. Because, yeah, we might just find something out today. And so, yeah, I actually had an attorney return my call. Isn't that amazing? So it is a milestone. Yes, it is. That's what I forgot about. I had an attorney return my call, and I told them about my disability and how the Clay County CPS had called up there to Corbin and got made sure that I never got my disability and SSI, and they were very fascinated to find that information out. They were very curious to find that information out. And I said, well, every time I go up there, I keep getting denied. And then you got a bunch of fucks on the internet laughing and giggling saying we told CPS years ago under Judge Clark to make sure he never got his disability and SSI. They were very fascinated to find out about that information. Yes, they were. They thought that was fascinating. Okay. I can't sit here wondering if I'm going to be arrested or wondering if my kids are going to be stolen or wonder if I'm going to have to fucking get extorted out of my fucking money. What little money I got left, which right now is none, I might add, because it was all given to the fucking Frosts. I can't have no peace of mind if I'm constantly looking over my shoulder to see if I'm going to be wrongfully arrested or illegal search and seizure or have my kids fucking taken because of something stupid. All these CPS workers need to be thrown in prison, starting with Helen, the head of Clay County CPS. Right on down. They all need to be thrown in prison because apparently that's the only way I'm going to see peace, or that my family is going to see peace, is if they're thrown in prison for the rest of their natural lives. And believe me, with child endangerment charges, they'll be thrown in jail for the rest of their natural lives. They're never going to see the light of day. Because, oh my God, what are we looking at here? About 10 to 12 charges of child endangerment, at least, if not more than that. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be in jail for the rest of their life. But that's to come, okay? We got to handle all this local shit and get it dealt with first so that I can have some peace of mind. And then when I've got some peace of mind with me, my children, and whatever's left, well, it's just me and the kids now because mom's dead and Andrew's gone. So the only thing left is me and the kids. But it's just the idea that right now there's too much stupid ass bullshit going on here locally. And I'll be so glad when we start throwing people in fucking prison so that I can have a moment's time to my goddamn self. You know, I don't even have a time to myself because of all this shit. You know, this bullshit, and it needs to stop. But anyway, oh, by the way, the Frost stopped by and said that it was the attorney, Mr. Stivers, that said that all the keys were to be yanked, and even to my house, and that the keys to the truck was even to be taken. Were you aware of that, Mr. Stivers? I'll be calling your office today to find out. Mr. Stivers. And like I said, everything has been forwarded to the proper authorities. Okay. You want to kick me out of my own house? Steal my truck? Because a bunch of fucking criminals say to do so? Really? Oh, that's interesting. I'm not so sure that's legal, Mr. Stivers. Call me crazy, but I'm not so sure that's legal. But we'll find out, won't we? Yes, we will. We'll find out. Yes, we will. We'll find out just how legal that is. But yeah, I can't do shit right now until I have some peace of mind here locally. What's the plan B? The plan B is scorched earth. I already told you that. And it won't be me doing it. It'll be the gods doing it. The gods have already said that they will leave me alone one way or the other. They'll either leave me alone by engaging their brain and doing what's right and proper in the law, or they'll leave me alone because the gods have made them leave me alone. You get me? But Von Helton, once again, Von Helton is not doing shit. So if something happens to someone, okay, if some calamity befalls someone, Von Helton did not do it. It was the gods themselves that did it because they said they were going to do it. They said that they would avenge me if somebody tries to take this land. Period. End of story. All right. So if something happens to anybody, I don't want to see a bunch of cruisers in my backyard trying to accuse me of shit I didn't do. Because Von Helton didn't do a damn thing. The gods told me, stay the fuck out. And I have been. Now, like I said, aside from, putting forth what I would like to see happen in my situation, but as far as actual offensive magic or doing things like that, no, I'm forbidden. I am forbidden to engage directly with the Frost in this matter. The gods said they're going to handle it. The gods said they would take care of it. Not me. So if anything happens to the Frost, if anything happens to the online terrorists, the trolls, haters, and naysayers, if anything happens to anyone or anything for any reason, Von Helton did not do it. It was the gods themselves that did it. Von Helton didn't do shit. Von Helton was told to stand down. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Okay? Just so we get this shit clear. Just so we're crystal clear on this matter. Because I don't need no 5 cruisers in my backyard trying to accuse me of this, that, or the other thing. I don't need that shit. Okay? I got enough aggravation as it is. I don't need any more. But yeah, woe be unto them if they try to take the property. We found out when my sister come down here and tried to take the property, didn't we? We found out what happened to her, didn't we?